First video in a while, several weeks. The last video was about the 1966 Chilean album, and this is probably just as good as that video. I'm going to try to go quicker because that one was north of half an hour, 40 minutes, if I remember correctly, because I just was so excited about what I got in. And honestly, I can't remember if I've shown these off. I probably did. 1926 Greeling of Pavo Nurmi, Charles Paddock, Harold Abrahams, and then two soccer players. Same soccer player, two different. The small and the medium of Halvorsen. Norwegian Asbjorn Halvorsen. Norwegian player. His earliest issue comes out of German sets from 1926. So I don't think he has a 1925 Manoli, probably. But this would count as his rookie. He also has a 1926 Casanova, which is pretty cool looking. And, you know, he was in the 1920 Olympics for Norway. And so if I could find a postcard showing the team, that would be great, because it would knock off a few other players from my list as well. But as far as I know right now, there isn't such postcard that has shown up. Before I go towards the albums, because I have quite a few that have come in. This was my ML Collectibles lot that I bought from, I think, the most recent auction that they had. But there's a coccyx, but this is actually probably depicting Tichy from 1958, I think. So this is actually his earliest 1958 gum wrapper out of Israel, Unella. There it says his name. Oh, that's upside down. So that's 1958. That is probably 1958-60. Probably, but it doesn't say his name. It thinks it depicts Coxus, or however you pronounce his name. I'm again horrible at that. But I finally picked one of those up for cheap. Another player who I'll just murder the pronunciation of, but this is cut out from a magazine. I pick these up whenever I see a different one of a player that I like. Not too sure of the year, but that was pretty solid. I have several. Speaking of them, I have his as well, but I already shut that off. I know that for sure. Let's see, I've seen some people date this to 1949-50, but I'm pretty sure this is 50-51. Skoglund, Swedish player during the 1950 World Cup. Very happy to have that. Lombardo, I saw several of these sell. Only one I was interested in because it's the only one that's rookie material. The other ones, Liedholm and Gunnar Grin and Gunnar Nordahl, all have earlier stuff, confirmed earlier stuff. Here is a Williams Forlags 1970 hockey Vladimir Zhardrin. And probably my favorite that I actually wasn't watching until I went back through the auction about an hour before everything was ending. Veselvod Bobrov. He played hockey and football. And his earliest issue that I have found, besides postal issues out of Russia from the 40s, late 40s, post World War II, is a 1955 hockey album that features him for, well, it's a sports album that features him for football, but he is in a suit. So hopefully I can track that down. But I'm happy with that. And then I showed that off already. And then 2 tennis players, 1927-29, pretty sure 1929 issue, W560 hand cut of Wilmer Allison. The PSA registry counts that as his earliest. That's the earliest I have been able to find. So happy with that. And then John Van Ryn, another Hall of Fame tennis player and also rookie by everybody. And so that's it for the singles. I'm pretty sure. Yeah, that's it for the singles. Very happy with those. Need to put all of those in the Excel sheet. But the majority of what I've picked up, a few months ago, plus now I'm still picking stuff up, are albums. And this is the first, well, we'll talk about that in a second. Let me show the Colombian stuff first. So I got in a Colombian lot of albums that I've made a deal in, and I'm probably going to pick up my phone to show it a little better. So 1988 Colombia Panini football album. The main reason I got this was for the Andres Escobar rookie, which is somewhere. It's also got several other players. It's got a Carlos Valderrama, I think. Maybe not. And it's also got this goalkeeper, Higuera. Probably murdered his name, but here's Andres Escobar. So happy to get that. That's the smaller one of the 4 albums. Here's the second one. This has the rookie of the goalkeeper in it. Also has one of my favorite Carlos Valderrama stickers. I, of course, already have his rookie. One of the first things I picked up. But, yep. Let's see if I can't find the... Yep, there he is. So it's going to be difficult removing those from these albums. I'll have to read up what type of glue was probably used. I don't want to cut any of these albums. May have to cut those to get those stickers out. I don't know. We'll see. We'll see what happens. Picked up another Estrellas 1981 album. Just because the one I have that had the Valderrama rookie I showed did not have Wellington Ortiz in it, and I was happy to find one, and it's stuck in the album, but these will be easier to remove. I forget what club he was in 81, because he, as far as everybody knows, he doesn't have anything earlier before this 81 album, but he was playing in the early 70s, so I feel like he should have something earlier. No, he's not in National. No. Yep, there he is. So happy to get a second one of those. So that's now, I have two of those, two albums. Probably my favorite from the lot is actually the only non-Colombian album. This is a very small album from Chile from 1959. And this is the earliest known issue of a bunch of those Chile stars who play in the 66 World Cup. 62 and 66. So you got Lionel Sanchez and other players who I, for the life of me, cannot pronounce, like Navarro, Esguerra, and then there's the Lionel Sanchez. There's a Sanchez too, but Lionel Sanchez played for Universidad de Chile, and that's Universidad Católica. But yeah, so really happy to get those. This album also had a Pele, but the seller unstuck that and sold it. Here's all the Brazilians that he unstuck. And of course, I'm glad he unstuck it, because I wasn't interested in those. I was interested in the Chileans and the album itself. So this is the only one I've ever seen. It's the only one that's ever been posted anywhere, so I'm really happy to have that. Before getting to my most favorite, let's go through what actually came in today. Netherlands Dutch albums. So this is Miss Blanche, or Blanc, probably Blanche, Blanque, right? Yeah, Miss Blanche album, series 4. So this was in 1931, 1932. And the series 4 album shows teams. So not two. I wanted to complete the set. I wanted all 4. And series 2 is the only one I don't have in hand yet, but that'll come late next month. With along a bunch of other singles of Dutch players. This is series 1, and this actually has a bunch of different sports. It starts off with football, and it ends with film stars. And so the first couple of pages are footballers. Harry Dennis, Van der Meulen, and that's pretty much it for this album. So, Von Cole, Von der Lane, W Tap. So, yeah, pretty cool. These are all complete. That's the end of the footballers right there. So series 2 continues with the portraits. And then series 3 has full body images, colored, of all the players, and this is also complete. And what's also coming in from the Netherlands, this probably has the earliest issue of this player. Probably. But yeah, so a bunch of these. You can get the singles for a couple bucks a piece, the big guys for north of 50, probably maybe 100 for really noticeable players. I'm not too sure, but I got all these albums for I think 150 euros, all 3 of those. And then my favorite is definitely this. Also got in this 1933 postcard of France and Austria, and there's Sindelar right there next to Schmistic, Rudy Hayden, and then you got French players. Yeah, so that's fun. But this 1943 Mexican album is one of my favorites. His earliest issue is 1933 from Spain, but that's probably his most desired issue besides the rookie, quote unquote rookie. But it's so cool looking. I love these 40s Mexican issues. So I'm really happy to get this. It's got all the key stickers. It's not complete, but it's about as complete as you're gonna find. And the stickers are in just great shape for what they are. The only player that could possibly be missing from anybody's list is Luis de la Fuente, but it also has Horatio Cesarian. Fuente's earliest issue is also out of Spain, from 34 or 35 albums issues, but that's his earliest known. But yeah, so really happy to get that in. We'll probably unstick everything I've shown. I want to display the albums, protect them like that, and then, you know, eventually slab up the stickers in PSA, SGC, CGC holders, or homemade magnetic holders. But that's it. That's all I got to share. Appreciate it. Peace.